What is going on? RUA here. Another video. Week 7, Falcons and Bengals. Big game for Atlanta. Big game for Cincinnati. Both teams at 500. Both teams won last week. Bengals did us a favor. Pulled off that comeback against the Aints. We dominated the 49ers on both sides of the football. So both of these teams, trying to hit their stride at midseason, trying to get on a little winning streak. And I don't know what Cincinnati's schedule is after it, but I know for the Falcons, if they were able to win this game, it would probably be very beneficial heading into this upcoming stretch that we have. But versus the Cincinnati Bengals, dealing with the Cincinnati Bengals, shout out to Mass Deadly Dashy. Probably the most die-hard Cincinnati fan, maybe one of the most die-hard fans I've ever seen. He reps his Bengals. He deserved to see his team win the Super Bowl last year. Let me first off say that. We're playing the Bengals this week, but I'll say it. Dashy deserved to see his team win the Super Bowl last year because he was there during the Bengals' dark years when they went 2-14. He's a Cincinnati Reds fan. He is in and out a Cincinnati sports fan, and he is one of the most diehard fans that you can probably ever meet. He is all about his teams, and that is what you have to respect. So shout out to Dashy. As far as this game goes, I think it's a big game for both teams. Really can set the momentum up for the next few weeks. I feel like, if Atlanta wants to win this game, going into Cincinnati, if the game was in Atlanta, I would feel pretty good that, we could win. But this being in Cincinnati definitely does favor the Bengals with their home field advantage. A lot of Bengals fans who weren't there during the dark years, now that they made the Super Bowl, have decided to all of a sudden come out the closet, kind of like some Falcons fans are doing all of a sudden now. So really, it's going to benefit them, obviously, with having the home field advantage. Have Joe Burrow. They have Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, that great wide receiver core. Look, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, that's enough. And the one thing that concerns me about this game is A.J. Terrell and Jamar Chase. Because I know A.J. Terrell, he had a bad game in the fourth quarter against Michael Thomas week 1. It was unacceptable knowing that we were playing the Aints. But we know if there's one receiver who has really, got A.J. Terrell, obviously not in the NFL, but probably in maybe the biggest game Terrell has played in his life, the College Football National Championship game against LSU, Jamar Chase went off against him. Now, fast forward about 3 years later, Jamar Chase is one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL. A.J. Terrell is one of the best young cornerbacks in the NFL. So, it's going to be interesting to see who wins that game within the game, I guess you can say. One of your things that you have to look at, can A.J. Terrell keep Jamar Chase in check? With Casey Hayward being on IR, that definitely does raise concern with the other two. I don't know who Cincinnati's slot is. I want to say it's Boyd who's going to be in the slot. So you'll have Oliver on him. I think if Isaiah Oliver can play, Oliver did pretty well last week. So I think if he can play like how he did last week, I think he should be able to keep Boyd in check. But Darren Hall, it's a next man up sport, and he did really well this week. Last week against Brandon Ayuk, but I think, you got to say, T. Higgins, it's going to be a tougher challenge. And that's really what does concern me. I think, obviously, you can neutralize that with Arnold Ebiketie getting back there to Joe Burrow early and creating that pressure, giving space for Grady to get back there. Don't know if Taquan Graham's going to play or not, but I feel like if we want to win this game, our defensive line has to set the tone so that the pressure is taken off the secondary. With that being said, I'm going to pick the Falcons to lose this game like I did. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say they won the game. Because if I feel like the Falcons are going to lose a game, I'm just going to say it. I think we're going to lose the game. I think it'll be a close game throughout the game. I think we'll be able to keep it close like we have every game. I don't think we're getting blown out. And I think we definitely do have a chance to win this game. But I think what will be the demise of us is not having Casey Hayward there to keep T. Higgins in check in the fourth quarter. I think, especially in the second half. Cincinnati did it last week against New Orleans. So, but I ultimately feel like this game is going to come down to who scores first and who is able to sustain momentum the longest. That is what I think this game will come down to. I think if Cincinnati gets out to an early lead, I think they'll probably end up running away with the game. With them having Joe Mixon, obviously. That's another guy you got to worry about. Cincinnati has a pretty damn good offense, but Cincinnati has to worry about our offense too. Marcus Mariota's the reigning player of the week for the NFC on offense. Kyle Pitts got his first touchdown last week. Drake London, he really hasn't been much of a factor in the past few games, but at the end of the day, you see that they're going to make an effort to get him involved. I don't think Cincinnati has the best secondary. Oh, they have Eli Apple in their secondary, so one of our receivers is going to go off one way or another, or at least should be due to go off. Really, I feel like if we can jump out to a lead early, and then we can set up the run game, we get Algier going, and we get Huntley going, and Mariota on that read option, I feel like we should be in good position to hold on and win the game. But I feel like Cincinnati wins this game with it being home field advantage. I feel like they're going to pick up the win, but I feel like it'll be a good game nonetheless. It's another one of those games. I think it's a 50-50 game that I just think Cincinnati comes away with in the end. Shout out to Mass Deadly Dashy, all the other real Bengals fans. I expect a good game this Sunday. Don't have a score prediction. I think it'll be a close game in the 20s. That I think Cincinnati probably just comes away with in the end. But hey, we got a chance just like we have every single week. This is RDA, and I'm out.